Okay. No matter what type of reflux you have, this is absolutely true for any digestive problem, whether it's acid reflux or IBS, no matter what type you have. And remember, I'm presenting this in a way that allows you to target your specific symptoms. So, in my protocols that I teach for fixing digestive disorders, you have a place to start. But it's more than that, because you have a place to focus, and also you can learn to identify not just your symptoms, because your symptoms are obvious. Like, if you have reflux, you know you have reflux, but there's other things going on underneath there. And then the goal of this program, if you're new to either the Pivot protocol or my new IBS protocol, you'll discover very quickly we're linking symptoms to the disease mechanism that gives rise to that symptom. This is something you'll never get from your doctor, right? Western medical people will never teach you this, ever, because they don't know it, not in the way that I can share it with you. And this is a really practical, even if you have no medical knowledge, no medical experience, you can understand your condition using this protocol, right? So you have a symptom, you have an underlying disease cause, the mechanism that's giving rise to that exact symptom, and then we can eliminate or certainly improve over time the root mechanism that's giving rise to your specific symptoms, right? Not just reflux or not just symptoms of IBS, but all of the different things that are going on. What causes fatigue? What's the root mechanism that causes fatigue, right? What's the root mechanism that causes head fog? What's the root mechanism that causes your tongue to swell and you bite the inside of your mouth? What's the root mechanism that gives rise to alternating diarrhea and constipation, right? All of the things that, it's like if you have a digestive condition, you don't have one symptom. By definition, you have multiple symptoms, okay? And this is the nature of all chronic conditions. So perhaps it's not surprising that you need a system you need an approach, a logical, systematic approach that helps you make sense of that. Now, no matter what type you have, and the types are the 4 major imbalances. Again, if you're new to the protocols that I teach for healing your digestive conditions, the main types are too much heat, too much cold, right? Cold meaning lack of capacity, lack of operation. When your organs get weak and they won't function up to at least a minimal standard, your body is breaking down, right? That's a cold condition. This specifically refers to the spleen, right? In this model that I'm teaching you, your spleen gets cold, right? A cold spleen responds when you warm it up and you get it active again, okay? Too much heat, too much cold, too much dryness, too much dampness. These are the 4 primary, these are like the 4 cardinal directions on a compass, right? North, south, east, and west. You can be too hot, you can be too cold, you can be too dry, you can be too damp. And then if we plotted your condition at any moment, right, if this helps you visualize what's going on, you could be somewhere in this quadrant or this quadrant or this quadrant or this quadrant, like. And the truth is, most people will have all 4 conditions at the same time. So a lot of people send in emails, hey, what's going on? I think I don't know what type I am because I have symptoms of all 4 types. It's like, yeah, you do. That's right. That's what chronic illness is. That's what chronic digestive disease looks like. It doesn't matter what your doctor calls your disease. Colitis, Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, IBS, acid reflux, you have hiatal hernia, you have all the different things that doctors could tell you about. You have some combination of these 4 primary imbalances. Do you understand how this is more empowering to think of your condition this way? Because it's like, okay, I have a hiatal hernia. What should I do? Well, I don't know. Your doctor says get surgery. That's the solution. Okay, well, you have too much heat, which is causing your body your spleen is being overwhelmed, so food is piling up inside you, and you get pressure upward, causing hiatal hernia. Okay, well, what if we reduced the heat, boosted the spleen, got dampness out of your body, and dealt with any dry symptoms that you're dealing with, and your hernia went away on its own? Right? That's That's a vastly superior approach to having your doctor cut your abdomen open and risking surgery and taking weeks of antibiotics as a preventative for any kind of complications that might happen in a hospital. Do you really want to be in a hospital getting surgery right now? Ask yourself this question, right? If you can avoid major abdominal surgery, isn't it worth it to you to do that, right? Doesn't that make sense? Okay. Whatever type you have, and this is the purpose of today's video, so all of that is a preamble to, look, no matter what type you have, hot, cold, dry, or damp, everybody has some excess metabolic heat. I explain how this happens in the Pivot Protocol in real detail, in very simple language. Anybody can understand how this is happening. If you're getting sick, if your body's breaking down, it fights hard to keep you going. That's partly what the stress response is. When you have a stress response, you have a mechanism in your body, and when you're in deep trouble, it speeds up, right, so that your body can fight harder to get you through that stressful episode. Okay? In the modern era, it speeds up and it never comes down. You get stress, and your stress mechanism responds, and it turns on, right? It's like stepping on the gas, and your engine is running at 5,000 RPMs. Right? Day after day after day after day. Okay? It's not an inappropriate metaphor. It's not an inappropriate, it's an apt mechanistic kind of metaphor, because your liver is overheating as it tries to process all the metabolic activity that has to go on for you to get up and get to work, pay your mortgage, get the kids out to school, keep going. Oh, my digestion sucks, so I'm not breaking down food properly, and I'm clogged up with waste, etc., etc. And your liver's working harder and harder and harder to try to push through all of that. Okay? This is a big problem. Now, what do you want to do to deal with that? Since everybody has some heat, even if your main type is not liver type, even if you're not a liver type reflux or a liver type IBS, your main type, no matter what it is, will include some amount of excess heat. This is an excess metabolic heat, to mix medical systems here, right? We say liver heat, that's excess metabolism. You have excess activity going on in your organs, and it's not calming back down. Fight or flight, rest and digest. Fight or flight, rest and digest. It's supposed to go between these two extremes, right? Oh, fight or flight, oh, I didn't sleep last night. Fight or flight, oh, I had another bad night's sleep. Fight or flight, oh, my digestion's breaking down and my liver's working even harder and I can't come down. Okay? This is how it goes when you're sick, especially with a chronic condition. So what do? Can you take a bunch of cold medicines to get heat out of your liver? You can, but then you just made your spleen worse. You just damaged your principal organ of digestion. Okay? Here's the point about how to handle the one dominant, most common complication in our medical model here that I'm teaching you. When you have too much heat in your liver, everybody knows that exercise is the fountain of youth. If nobody's told you this, let me be the one to make it clear. Exercise is by far the best non-diet kind of medicine that you could take to keep your digestion running smoothly. Now, I go into this in real detail in the Pivot Protocol and in my other training in the IBS Protocol, so I'm not going to break it down for you here. That's all in the material. Okay, go read it, listen to it, hear me explain it there. But just this simple explanation. When you have heat, what does your liver do? Aside from all of these metabolic processes that I'm telling you about? Well, your liver stores your blood. It's a big sponge with all the blood, and the blood has to circulate through it, right? When you eat food and nutrients get absorbed into your bloodstream through your intestinal wall, that blood goes into your liver, delivers the nutrients, right? So the blood is circulating through there. It's a gigantic filter, right, for everything that's in your blood. And your liver holds a lot of blood. Think about what exercise does, okay? You don't want to clear heat from your liver. For the most part, most of you, most of the time, need to spread that heat out. How do you spread heat out of your liver? Simple. Get the blood out of your liver. When you go to the gym, or you go for a walk, or you dance and get a good sweat, or you jog or swim or whatever you do to breathe hard and get your heart pumping, which circulates your blood, and especially when you get a good burn in your muscles of any kind, right? There's almost everybody watching this could take a walk for 20 minutes. Now, if you're injured or right, you have some other kind of handicap that doesn't allow that to happen, fair enough, right? But whatever you have to do to move your body, this is the number one thing that you can do to just help your digestion. Why? Because once you spread the blood out of your liver all throughout your body, and especially when you get a good burn and your muscles get, not just a burn in your muscles, but they get fat, right? They get swollen and full of blood. Like if you work out and you push your muscles hard, you feel your muscles get engorged with blood. Well, that's blood that used to be in the liver that now got spread out to your muscles. And if you do this over time, you build muscle, right? But you saturate your muscle tissue with good, healthy, nourishing blood as it brings oxygen and nutrients, okay? And heat just escaped from your liver. So you're getting heat out of your liver by the act of exercising. Now, simple, non-muscle building kind of like, not weights per se, but even just mild cardiovascular. Breathe hard, get your heart beating hard. So that kind of exercise too is very effective because if you circulate blood enough, right, you also have an effect to get, blood has to still circulate out of your liver in that scenario. But specifically, a little bit of weight training, a little bit of anything that causes your muscles to swell with blood is incredibly, incredibly helpful for getting heat out of your body. And that's the mechanism that explains why it spreads heat out of your liver anytime you get a good workout. Because the blood, of course, that's traveling, that gets released from your liver also helps then not just to nourish your muscles that are working, but to spread heat away from that organ, and your liver symptoms will decrease over time. Usually it happens quite quickly. I mean, if you get a good workout, you feel better at the end of that. So, what am I telling you today that you don't already know? That you should get to the gym or get a workout? You already know that, right? But what I'm giving you is the impetus to understand the medical explanation for why it's so effective and why it helps your digestive system so much. I go into the whole fight or flight thing and what it does to blood flow to your organs. I go into that in the training modules themselves in real detail. And there's some really important details that you need to know about why the stress mechanism affects your digestive, the movement of food and waste through your intestines. You've got to know this. You need to understand it and how it affects circulation through your circulatory system and how the liver is affected by all of that response to stress. But look, right, what you need is a lifestyle that requires you 7 days a week. You get some physical activity. This idea that we're all stuck indoors, and I'm not talking about 2020 because who cares about all the nonsense in 2020? I'm saying you live your life in such a way that for hundreds of millions of years we evolved and we were constantly active. This modern phenomenon of people having so much heat stuck in their liver, causing all of these weird, not just digestive problems, but mental, emotional, psychological, psychiatric problems, right? Your mind-body thing works both ways. If your mind is messed up, right, and you're thinking crappy thoughts, and you're anxious all the time, or you're depressed or whatever, that affects your organs. But if your organs get stronger and work better, right, your mind changes. It changes your psyche. It changes the way you see the world. That's pretty powerful because nobody talks about the other side of the street in the mind-body connection is, yeah, your mind is connected to your physical organism, but by the way, your physical organism can change your mind. Okay? So all of these things together amount to get 20 to 30 minutes of good exercise a day without fail, without excuse. Oh, it's raining out. Go for a walk in the rain. If that's what you have to do, go for a long, strong walk. No phones, no talking to your buddy. Go do something to push your heart and lungs, to push blood and oxygen through your body, to get blood out of your liver. If you spread heat and spread blood out of your liver, it will release this heat out of your liver, and most of your digestive symptoms will improve almost immediately. And if you do this over any sustained period of time, and which is why I'm saying you need a lifestyle that requires this, if you do this over a period of time, you will see tremendous improvement. It's just guaranteed. There's no pill, there's no surgery, there's no medical therapy or procedure that does what exercise does. Okay? So that's that's your free bit of advice for today. No matter what digestive condition, no matter what symptoms you're dealing with, you will have some amount of it will be related to excess heat coming from your liver, and this is the very best way that I can help you. And if you haven't started on the Pivot protocol or the IBS protocol, which I'm releasing very soon, it's not out now if you're watching this video. If I release this before the IBS protocol comes out, most of what you need to know about curing most of your digestive disorders is in these two programs. So if you haven't started, you should. I hope you do, because this is something, we just see it over and over again. Hundreds and now thousands of people in the last 2 years who have stumbled on this program, absolutely turning their life around. And your only other option to figuring this out and doing it, and I've made it so easy for all of you. If you can read at a 7th grade level, you can figure out, most of it's video training anyway. But I've made it very, very easy to understand. But your only other option for fixing your digestive condition is really to keep going back to your mainstream medical doctor with more pills and more doctor's appointments and more stupid advice about stuff that's not going to help you, and more problems, from this pill causing this side effect, causing that side effect, then I need another med, then I need surgery. And on and on and on it goes. So I do hope you look into this if you're suffering with digestive condition, and thank you very much for your time.